Thank you for joining us again today on UPLink Online. Today we're gonna really dig into the value of being a minister of the church, not just youth. I think that there's a perception of youth ministry that we often aid in the perception. That we are babysitters, that we're entertainers, that we just feed pizza, or that that we're real shallow and that we don't really dig deep with teenagers. And to be honest, I think for the most of us, that's not true. And so how can we, instead of focusing on that, allow our church to see a difference in what we're doing? Well, I believe that one of the main ways that we can do that is seeing that value in being a minister of the church. That we can allow ourselves to be a minister to all people in the church, but our concentration or our focus or maybe even our specialization is in youth, or our calling is in youth. We are called to the gospel ministry. And sometimes He calls us to be in specific, age-specific ministries. But ultimately, we need to find our ultimate calling, and that is the gospel ministry. I think that there is a lot of value in loving on senior adults on a Sunday morning, or serving senior adults, or not just senior adults, but widows on a weekend, or getting our teenagers active in their lives. Parents, we are called to minister to parents and to young adults. We're parent, and then also, but not to take that and just go with the older, but also, man, I'll tell you, one of my greatest joys in ministry was to go and have kids just come run and want to tackle you with love because you've made an impact in their lives. Just a few weeks ago, I had a conversation with a parent, or my wife had a conversation with a parent who said that her daughter said, "I miss Scooter." Well, that wasn't because I was something special. It was because there was a relationship there of somebody that she looked up to, somebody that loved on her and poured into her. And for me, I'm sitting here going, well, that's a future youth. And so I want to build relationships with younger boys and girls as children's ministry, because they're going to transition into my ministry at some point. Also, your staff is important, and you should be a minister there. So I tell you that there's a lot of benefits in that, and there's a lot of value in that, in the fact that senior adults are a big supporter of ministries that go on in the church. Well, if they don't know what's going on because they don't know you, and all they see is a youth minister or a guy who might dress different, who might look different, who acts different, who has teenagers on the front row with their cell phones out, what rebels they are. Well, the value of spending time with senior adults in your church is the fact that they actually get to know you and build relationships, and then they might actually bleed over into getting to know the kids, and the value of that is incredible, because when teenagers start bridging a gap with senior adults, and senior adults start bridging a gap with young teenagers, what a difference that can make in the future of the lives of the teenagers. That's making disciples. That's a Titus 3 model. We even went so far to play games with them. They actually got to see, the senior adults got to see and play some games that the teenagers wanted to play. Teenagers got to play some games that the senior adults want to play. And what a great value and a great time of fellowship that they had. Then you've got young adults. You've got parents. What a value for them in the church to get behind, because let's face it, who's going to be putting on your fundraisers? Who's going to be attending your fundraisers? Well, the church. But if they don't know what you're raising money for, if they don't see the benefit and the value of what you do, man, I just wish that we could see the value in sharing our vision and sharing our passion and letting them see what the teenagers are doing and what difference is being made in the ministry that we're doing more than just shoving pizza at kids or soft drinks or sugar or just entertaining them, but there is true disciple making happening. You know, I'll never forget, I left a church, it was my last Sunday there, and the college students, because I was doing youth in college, but college students were doing thank you for giving to the Lord, and they were doing that for us. And And in the midst of that, in the middle of the song, this lady walked up to me and she goes, "For 6 months, I was in the hospital and you came and visited me often. You don't know how much that meant to me. So make visits." The value in that was incredible. You don't know what difference that might have made, what you could make in someone else's life, as I didn't know what difference I was making in Miss Lucille's life. And then I just think that what a help. We are to lead, we are to help, we are to be a support for our pastors. And I believe that when you become, not to become the pastor, but to become a minister of your church and not just a youth pastor focused on teenagers, what a difference, what a relief, what a help, what a support you get to be for your pastor. And I think pastors, with communication, with knowing these things, what a great opportunity for us to pour into our churches, to our fellowship of believers, but also what a great value to our pastor if he has someone there who he knows is on his side and supports him and is there to help him do the work of the gospel ministry at the local church in which you are called. Thank you for joining us today.